Hey guys. 1980, 1 center Canada coin. But today, we're looking at a very specific year 1980. At first glance, it looks like just another maple leaf cent. But 1980 represents the absolute peak of the pure copper era before things started to change. Today, I'm going to show you why this coin is worth more than its face value just in metal alone, and how to spot the rare, high-grade versions that can sell for 50 to 100 times their original value. Let's talk about what makes the 1980 penny different from the ones that came later. In 1980, the Royal Canadian Mint was still using a high copper alloy. Specifically, this coin is 98% copper, 1.75% tin, and 0.25% zinc. Weight, 2.8 grams. Mintage, a massive 915,155,000 were struck. Now, you might hear 900 million and think, well, that's not rare. And you're right, it's not. But here is the kicker, because they are 98% copper, the melt value of a 1980 penny is often double or triple its face value. Even though you can't legally melt them in Canada, investors hoard these because they are literally real money made of semi-precious metal. Look closely at the shape. In 1980, the penny was still perfectly round. Just 2 years later, in 1982, Canada would switch to the 12-sided shape to help the visually impaired. The obverse heads, you'll see the second effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This is the younger queen portrait that collectors love because of its classic, regal detail. The reverse, the iconic twin maple leaves designed by G. E. Kruger Gray. This design remained virtually unchanged from 1937 until the penny's death in 2012. What to look for, on the 1980 coin, pay attention to the rim. Because these were struck in such high numbers, many 1980 pennies suffer from die deterioration. If you find one where the letters seem to be bleeding into the rim, that's actually a common minting byproduct, not necessarily a high-value error, but it's a great way to learn about the minting process. So, how do you make real money with a 1980 penny? It comes down to two things: grade and errors. Copper reacts with oxygen and turns brown. Most 1980 pennies you find will be chocolate brown. However, if you find one that is still mint red, meaning it looks like it just came off the press, the value jumps. A 1980 MS65 red mint state can fetch 10 to 20. If you manage to find an MS66 or MS67 red, you're looking at 50 to 100 plus at auction. These are rare because most were handled and tarnished decades ago. Look for clipped planchet errors. This is where a bite-sized piece is missing from the edge of the coin because the metal sheet wasn't fed correctly. A 1980 penny with a significant clip can easily sell for 20 to 40 to error collectors. Double dies. While 1980 isn't famous for a major doubled die like 1955, collectors still look for doubling in the date 1980. Use a jeweler's loupe to see if the numbers look like they were stamped twice. Why does the year 1980 feel so nostalgic? This was a massive year for Canada. "O Canada" officially became the national anthem. Terry Fox began his marathon of hope. And the 1980 Quebec referendum happened. When you hold a 1980 penny, you're holding a piece of the copper that was in people's pockets during some of the most defining moments of modern Canadian identity. It's a historical artifact that you can still find in your couch cushions. Conclusion: the 1980 Canadian penny might not buy you a house, but it's a gateway into a hobby that combines history, art, and investment. Whether you're keeping it for its 98% copper content or hunting for that elusive MS67 red, it's a coin that deserves a second look. Here is my challenge to you: go find a jar of old Canadian change. Pull out every 1980 penny you see and check the color. If it's still bright red, you might have a winner.